Good morning and welcome to the BlackUSA.News morning show. My name's Donnie Glover, and it's such an honor and a pleasure to be with you this morning. This has been one very, busy week. CIAA. A week ago today, I met Jackie, who was the chair, Jackie McWilliams. She's the chair of CIAA. And CIAA is the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association. And they are the ones behind the basketball tournament, the CIAA. Now, one thing I learned this week about CIAA is that only one of Maryland's four HBCUs is a member of the CIAA, and that would be Bowie State. The other three, University of Maryland, Eastern Shore, Morgan, Coppin, they're all members, if I'm not mistaken, of the MEAC, MEAC. But in town now, we have for the first time ever the CIAA. And it's brought a lot of money. It's brought a lot of people. It's brought millions of dollars in revenue. All of the restaurants are jumping downtown. There's nothing like an influx of people. And it's really good for the city of Baltimore. So big ups to the city of Baltimore. Big ups to all of the HBCUs in town. A number of events throughout the week have been happening. I know 2 nights ago there was something huge down at the Columbus Center. Have you ever been to the Columbus Center? Have you ever been down to the harbor to see some of the new buildings that are there? Hard Rock Cafe, Phillips is over there now. So much has changed down the harbor. If you haven't been there, there are things, new place, new stores, new businesses. What used to be here is now over there. Got a little, synergy going on down there. Even got a Popeye's fried chicken downtown. We have one at Mondawmin. I just don't have the patience to stand in the line, but the biscuits are to die for. I don't know about the chicken sandwich, but those biscuits, oh my. I love those biscuits. Wanted to tell you there was a huge event last night. Mr. Wayne Frazier, he and his wife, Rico, he and his wife really put it down last night. They had the Black History Month celebration down at the Maryland Live. And I think that's only my second time inside Maryland Live. Maryland Live was that whole, was a result of the legislation under O'Malley that brought forth table gambling and slots. Ehrlich tried to push it through, but this being a Democratic state, blah, 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 Democratic games and all of that stuff. But here's my thing about that old gambling thing. You shoved it down our throats. And I'm not even talking about the table gambling and slots. I'm going back to 1973 when they first brought the lottery online. They promised money for education. And under O'Malley, they came out with this 21st century plan. This is what I know. When I look around Sandtown, there are no new schools. When I look over there in Reservoir Hill, they got a new school out at Dorothy Height that the kids in the neighborhood can't utilize for recreation facilities. That's the word on the streets. So, they All right, all right, all right. So we in here waiting on a couple of guests. I don't know, people might have got lost today. It is Friday. Nobody wants to work today. Who else was at the event last night? Aisha Brave Boy. I almost forgot. We had an event last night. 2 nights ago, we had our Black Wall Street event. The Media Prince was there. My niece came out, Andrea James. Go, Andrea. She's selling these chocolate covered strawberries. Paris Raven, media young lady, social media maven, was in the house. And S. Monique Smith. Oh my God, I can't tell you enough about S. Monique. Monique has been, she's done a book, she's done a documentary. Ain't no telling, she is very concerned about trafficking. And trafficking can happen anywhere on earth, sadly to say. And it does happen. It happens here in Baltimore. You know, one reporter was trying to tell me that the block is somehow involved in sex trafficking. That close to the police station, ain't nobody get locked up. I'll tell you something. Did you know that the Super Bowl, according to Dr. Patricia Newton, God rest her soul, the Super Bowl is the #1 trafficking event in the world. The Super Bowl. Yeah. So that's where we are. Let me just check on my guests, see what happened. If they got lost in the sauce. Bear with me a second. Cowabunga, dude, where are you? Okay. Okay. So been a good week. CIAA election stuff is coming up. Maryland Live last night, the casino. That was only my second time in the casino. Had a little filet mignon. Really nice event. Maryland Live really laid it out. I've not done any events at the casinos. I'm fundamentally opposed to them. And thus far, I've stuck to my guns. I'm not for gambling. I think we have enough vices in our community. If the only way we're going to get rich is to do it through gambling, then we already got problems. The lottery is enough. And again, I haven't seen the return on our investment in the lottery. Black people play the lottery more than anybody else. Yeah, we got raggedy schools. We got schools with air conditioning, needing air conditioning in the summer, and schools that need heat in the winter. So and then I watch people. I can't watch people just put money and money and money, and then 5 minutes later, let me $5. It's kind of like watching the addicts that don't live in Sandtown who come to Sandtown and want to buy drugs and get high in Sandtown. No, we're not fond of you. I don't want you parking on my block. I don't want you parking anywhere near me. Let me give the city of Baltimore some props, particularly when it comes to these vacant houses. If you got a vacant issue, you need to call the city right away. If you got a vacant next door, call 311, report it. Get the confirmation number. And then if you don't know what to do after that, call me, 443-858-2684. 443-858-2684. Again, if you have vacants in your block, call 311 right now. The city is paying prompt attention to vacants. So call 311, report the vacant or vacants, get the confirmation number, and either call your city council person, contact the mayor, or call me and I'll tell you who to call. My number is 443-858-2684. And so this is what? February 25th. So February, March, April, May, June, 4 months. You will have your primary election here in the state of Maryland, Who will you be voting for? Who's captured your attention? Are you pleased with what we've had, or do you want something different? Are you sticking with the Republicans, or are you going to choose a Democrat? And if so, what Democrat? Who's captured your attention? What are your issues? And I got to tell you something else. From a political standpoint, we get what we deserve. Nobody wants to hear me on this, but I'm going to say it again. We get what we deserve. We're getting the kind of political representation because we as citizens don't know our role. We don't know our power. And we're certainly not effectively utilizing that power collectively. As a voter, it's not just enough to vote. It's not just enough to pull a lever and say, I vote for you. No, it's not even, it doesn't even scratch the surface. Number one, you got to know who you're voting for. You should have their phone number, their email address. You should know their wife or their husband. You should know their girlfriend or what have you. You should know their house number and their cell number and their office number and their email address. And you should use those means of communication to get in touch with them. And not just like right now, we have the Maryland General Assembly going on from mid-January to mid-April. All of your state elected officials are generally speaking engaged in Annapolis. You should be calling 410-841-3000 to engage your state senator and your 3 state delegates in most cases. You should know who they are. Here in the 40th, we got State Senator Antonio Hayes and the 3 delegates. We need to know these delegates. We need to know their names. We need to know what legislation they're pushing. We need to know if they've been campaigning in our neighborhood or if they never come here at all. We need to know what exactly are they working on. Because if they aren't working on something for our benefit, get rid of them. That's what we don't do enough of. We all on TikTok. You know, I see these grown women. You know, you're doing a dance and your baby dumb as a bag of rocks. The first teaching, by the way, starts at home. And I ain't saying just because you're on TikTok, your babies can't read. I'm not saying it. I'm saying it's so sad how quickly we pick up on the buffoonish stuff, but the stuff that matters, you know, the academics, again, we forget that there are people in other countries that would die to be here in America. And we're so fortunate. We're so blessed. And then we're coming with all kinds. You know, this is the whiner generation. Yeah, I was sharing with my daughter. She started laughing. I knew I was on to something. You ever notice that this is the new generation? They're always whining. I was telling them about the whiners. What was that, Saturday Night Live? And that's what I hear from this generation. The whiners. Why do I have to go to school? Take your butt to school and do well. Bring me some A's. Kids weren't buying kids $200, $300 belts, and a cat can't spell SAT or GED. Come on, y'all. Stop dummying down the program. 60 is not passing. 2.0 is not passing. That's, you know, skating. My daddy said you could stay home and fail. And we got to get these men back in these kids' lives. You know, a lot of these young people out here in these streets that are off the hook is because a daddy didn't put foot in their butt. And yes, I'm from the old school. I'm from Baltimore. Yes, I do believe you got to warm that hiney up every now and then when when the baby don't act right. And you got to start young. I start in the womb. I let them know I'm your daddy. I'm your granddaddy. I will choke you out if you don't come on here into this world and represent our family well. We ain't having none of that foolishness, chicanery. You are here to represent our family and you will do a good job. But we've gotten away from those things. Those things, oh, you're too tough on the kids. You can't say that. Hollywood does not run my house. Outside this house, but not in this house. The good Lord run this house. And I still believe, I'm still among the believers. Are you a believer? Because, you know, the way they be bombarding us with news, you think somebody else is God. Like somebody else make the sun come up every day. Oh, hallelujah. No man on earth make that sun come. No man. No man make the moon come up. No man makes the grass, each blade of grass grow. That's all done by the good Lord. Wow. They done just spun me out. I done did about, hold up, a 19-minute monologue. That Saturday Night Live don't even have that. You made me do a 19-minute monologue.
That's what happens. You call me 5 minutes of. Well, no, I actually called you. So you're welcome.
And she will throw you under the bus. Erica Austin Buck, what up?
Hey, Donnie. I'm excited to be here. Just some stuff was happening this morning, so my apologies to your audience that I'm late, but it is the story of my life.
How have you been?
Excellent. I have absolutely no complaints. Excellent. real good.
This is a busy week. I mean, the weather's breaking, the COVID numbers are going down, and people are eagerly out in these streets.
Yep. I've been every single day. Like, I'm working with 18 to 30-year-olds now. And the weather broke. I need a lasso.
They got lost.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm good. I'm built for this.
Let me ask you, Erica, and this is a serious question. You deal in the realm, you work for a program that helps to change young people's lives.
Absolutely.
From drugs and alcohol. What are you seeing out here right now?
It's funny. Channel 2 came to see us on yesterday, and their story was about the climbing violence in Baltimore, the homicide rate. There being no code anymore. Like the game used to have some codes. You couldn't mess with old ladies, couldn't mess with kids. And there was a time even women were off limits. So there's no code in the street right now. And our numbers are climbing. And what I see is young people on both sides of the trigger. And as a result of that, like when I saw like the number go over 300, this is our 7th year with more than 300 homicides. That's a lot of people dying. And that number is minor compared to the amount of people that are injured or stabbed or shot that don't die, right? So the violence is at an all-time high. And what we being the substance abuse treatment, what we saw over the pandemic was this huge increase in the number of people that were presenting for help, right? So get me off the streets. I'm tired of using drugs. I'm scared to death of the violence. And then we began seeing the age of these people decrease. So it goes from popping perks, smoking weed, drinking lean, having fun, to now you got fentanyl in your system because when you can't get a perk, now you're buying a bag of dope. And then that fentanyl is in the weed. It's in these fake oxy. Look, it's people think they know how bad it is. I get to see all day, every day, how horrific it is and how it's impacting young people. So I've got kids 18 to 30 years old who are not court ordered. Like you 18 to 30 years old and you banging down the door of a treatment center. It's bad out there. So like one of my kids, I got a call 2:00 in the morning from a Baltimore City police detective. And he didn't know what was going on. He goes, I'm looking for someone named Miss Erica. And I was like, speaking, it's 2:00 in the morning, Donnie. He said a kid was in the middle of North Avenue flagging him down. And he stopped for the kid. He says, I'm trying to get to rebound. Because the word on the street is you 18 to 30, you need help, call Miss Erica. Young people are flagging down the police to get off the streets. That's how bad it is. And I'm just honored and privileged and grateful to just be in a space where I got an open door for them to get the services that they need.
You done made me just, oh my God. I got a treat for us. I got a treat for us all because we all need a treat. The one and only.
Oh, hey.
Hi, Paula.
Hey, Donnie. Hi, Erica.
Hey there, Paula. Good to see you.
I got my glasses on. I can't see. I don't know if your glasses is just for style, Donnie.
No, I can't see nothing.
I be faking it till I make it out there. Like, We on screen now. I'm gonna go ahead and put my glasses on. Hey,
How have you been? What you been up to?
I am well. Oh man, I'm in town for the CIAA. Well,
Woo.
I'll actually leave tomorrow morning, but just working, acting, put out a book, shopping my screenplay, and always music. You know, just being creative, Paula.
Wait a minute,
Come
aren't
on
you
in,
painting and being an artist as well? Don't leave that stuff out.
I do paint. I do paint, but my painting is more of a hobby. Like people buy my work, but
Mm-hmm.
literally it's just like I'm not like, oh, I'm a paint and I'm trying to put together an exhibition or something like that. No,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of paint. So yeah, come buy some paint, y'all. Some
Paula, despite all of the news that comes out of Baltimore about the violence, the drugs, and this and that, you are still a brand ambassador for our city.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How do
I,
you keep the energy level up?
you know what? I grew up in the midst of some of the most um, volatile, drug infested areas. Like I grew up White Lock Street, Murder Mall, and when I was growing up, it was like top 3 most drug infested: age, pregnancy, high school dropout, murder. Um, and so, because to be honest, like my family was attached to so much of that. And my grandmother was like the closest thing to me, but my grandmother was extremely attached to all of that. I wanted to be something different, and she always told me something different. Um, God definitely afforded me with the talent. So even at 4 and 5 years old, I was a singer. And when I got to middle school and high school, when I'm singing, like all the corner dudes was like, P, you don't belong out here. But they would literally pay me just to sing a song, but tell me that I didn't belong out there, tell me I was better. If they saw me cutting school or not going, like they sent me to school. So in the midst of everybody saying like, oh, this is this, like people in Baltimore City are doing the best that they can with the tools that they have. So whether that's financially, whether that's mentally, whether that's emotionally, like they don't see a lot of things outside of Baltimore. I was afforded an opportunity to travel, to be able to use my gifts and talents, to meet people, to understand that things were different. I remember the first time I went to LA, I was 21, 22, and my entire body shut down because I literally, like, I got on the flight. Before I got on the flight, and I was fine. I caught a hay fever. My neck got stiff. I lost my voice, and I went there to sing, and a whole bunch of like digestive issues. When I say my entire body shut down, my marketing rep started crying because I did not believe that I was gonna make it to LA. I was like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to go to LA. Like, I'm not gonna make it there. And then when I got there and they got me together and I was a little bit better, when I was coming back to Baltimore, it shut down again because I didn't think that I would make it back to tell anybody about it. So I know that I'm not one in a million when it comes to little girls or people in Baltimore City. And so for me, I just feel like, yo, we are strong, authentic, beautiful, just like God fearing. We stop at nothing human beings. I have seen no people like Baltimoreans, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, not because I'm from Baltimore, but people talk about this all the time. Like you don't see people, the authenticity, the willpower from Baltimore. But what I didn't do is get stuck in the mindset of this is all I have, so this is what I'm going to work with. But again, I was afforded opportunities and given things that not everyone was privy to. So,
Erica, she sent chills through my spine.
I got it. I got it. I'm with you. I got goosebumps.
oh, thank y'all.
Yeah. Real recognize real. Right?
Do they appreciate you in Atlanta?
Nah, not really. The industry is more about what have you done for me lately.
Ooh.
Um, I appreciate Atlanta for what it is. And what Atlanta is to me is Black people thriving. What separates Atlanta from Baltimore, besides being able to just go sit on a big body of water somewhere and think, that was not a shot, or was it? But is Baltimore, I said this last night at my performance, Baltimore is a city where if we click, if we vibe, if we have good energy together, we don't care how much money you got, what color you are, what's your walk of life, what's your religious belief. Like, we just like you. We don't care if you're educated, you're not. Like, if we vibe and it's a field and we're like, oh my God, I love him, I love her, we love each other. And in Atlanta, it's very cliquish. So when I say Atlanta doesn't appreciate me, I won't say all Atlanteans, because I do have great friends and great connections in Atlanta. I wish, though, I was able to move a little, flow a little better through that Atlanta kind of vibe, without it being so just click. Greek, you a housewife, if you come from old money, if you like, but it's Black.
It's Black.
I wanted to get to that. If you could pick up and package anything in Atlanta and transplant it to Baltimore, what would it be?
It would definitely be the way that they help each other. It would definitely be the way that I would take away the cliquish part if I could, but the way that they pour into Black people, they do not care. You Black, I'm helping you. Oh, you Greek, I'm helping you. Oh,
See, that's
yes,
it's funny you say that, because when I'm asked about both Atlanta and Charlotte, and the difference is, I think Black folks in Atlanta and Charlotte recognize that there's enough for everyone. That's not the mentality here. I think although we love everyone and we vibe, and this energy thing, it a lot of times when we here believe that somebody's getting $2 over rent money, then the energy changes. I think the Southern, with both black people thriving, rest on the notion that it's enough for all of us, and I'm going to help you get some because I got some. I think that's the difference,
Erica, and this is why I will say now in Baltimore, it is more so people that the crab in a barrel, but that's everywhere. Let's be clear. Mm-hmm. However, I will say in Baltimore, they definitely, what I've seen and experienced, they'll definitely try to pull you back. Like, no, it's not your turn, it's my turn. Yes. In Atlanta, they feel that way, but it's not about pulling you back. It's about outdoing you. So I think
okay.
Make the other person, though, like, I will make myself my competition, but when they see something like, you're not going to do this better than me, I'm going to shut you down. It's not about taking what you have. It's about getting more for myself. And I think that's how they continue to evolve and grow and become better, because they're not going to focus their energy on pulling someone else down. They're going to focus on building themselves beyond what they see.
And then if that's the mentality, then that should be the motivation, right?
Yeah.
If you know that someone's not pulling you back and their goal is to be better, then my goal is to be better. So I think that's also the vibe that you're feeling there, and why we can thrive in an environment like that.
Yeah.
Now, this is not meant to be ignorant, but in Atlanta, here in Baltimore, what I see, you correct me if I'm wrong, Erica, when a young man in particular, young rapper, he gets into the game and starts to evolve, the first thing I want for him to do is to leave Baltimore, because it's like, as this star is evolving and shining, then people want to hold him and keep him on the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue, as opposed to saying, hey, you go ahead and do your thing and come back after you're famous. Did I say that right, Erica?
No, I think like Paula can speak to that. I don't necessarily, I understand why we would motivate them to leave Baltimore, because this isn't the entertainment industry. Like, you can nurture your talent here, you can build a name for yourself, but what Paula needs is the production and the team behind that, and the team that has the opportunities to market her and make certain that she's in places that she needs to be. I don't think that Baltimore provides that for entertainers. So my reason for pushing someone, an entertainer, a rapper, hip hop, R&B, whatever it is, to leave Baltimore is only because I don't believe that we have the platform or the network or the resources to provide for them what they need to get out there. Have we had some people from Baltimore blow up? Yes, but the blow up is in another level once they leave. And with our young black men that are aspiring rappers, it's really hard to trap and rap and stay alive. So, in leaving Baltimore, sometimes it's about their safety.
Yeah, I want them to be alive.
Absolutely.
I mean, I went to little school
And,
to
and, and what,
school
but what
on the
happens
avenue.
is we got to understand that our young people that are aspiring to rap and are rapping about their real life experiences and are rapping about navigating the trauma that they've been exposed to being born and raised here, they are not far removed from what it is that they are rapping about, and that's what creates the danger. That's what creates the unsafe environment for them, because I'm rapping but I'm still in the hole. I'm rapping but I'm still doing hand to hand, transactions, and I'm rapping about it. So we've got a culture here in that space that I want every young person away from.
Yeah, I would agree that it is good sometimes to get away. But if you look at like Pop Smoke or King Von, at the end of the day, most hip hop artists come from that type of background. Um, and so because their mentality, and they are very, very hard to shake. No matter where they go, it'll follow them. They're gonna pour back into doing whatever they were doing because they knew how to get money that way. So it's difficult to pull them outside of that. That's one. Leaving Baltimore, yes and no. As far as the resources, literally, I sat in the basement studio in Owens Mills with Kanye West, listening to a whole bunch of different hip hop and club producers' beats. They were all there. Don Trump, Rod Lee, Sean Banks. So, and guess what? Gerard B. Like, they take, because writing is how do I even explain this? Writing is so detrimental to making money in the industry. No one wants to share that. So if they don't buy the beats and silence our producers because our sound is popping, then they go and recreate it to where we're not getting publishing from it. If you think about, when I travel, people talk about, first of all, any musician on tour, on big tours, comes from Baltimore, DC, and sometimes Chicago. We have the best musicians, the best producers, from the church to the street to the grit of it. Like, our producers, oh shit. Oh, can I say that? I mean,
Paula Campbell.
they are phenomenal. And when I say everywhere I go, people talk about our producers, our musicians, our singers. Everywhere I go, the issue is because we're such a small city, people look over us and look past us because they can get something in a bigger city that's maybe gonna bring them more monetary gain a lot quicker. If I come to Baltimore and I listen to these producers and then I add my edge and kind of twist it up a little bit, then it's not a Baltimore beat anymore. But it's the sound. Pharrell's been doing it for years, and not taking anything from Pharrell or Timbaland, because they are killers and they do their own thing. However, you hear the influence. You hear Jersey club now. That's Baltimore club music sped up. Like, stop playing with me. At the end of the day, we have so much talent here. And I would say that it is good to be able to get out and explore and see how people do it in different cities and different spaces. But ultimately, like, I definitely would like to come back and give back to my city. Would I live in Baltimore City? Probably not. Like, like, I ain't safe in the hood no more. I don't think, like, I used to have my little Audi A8 and I'm driving through the hood. I'm on Poplar Grove and North and Long because I grew up in that. And easily something could have happened to me. But when you really start to understand, like, yo, my friends and the people that I care about, my family, are losing their lives to the streets. If they're not safe, because people think of me a certain way, then I'm not safe here. So I think once these rappers, I know I talked around the whole mulberry bush, but once these rappers and hip hop artists get that in their brains, like, yo, like my friends ain't my friends because I'm not on this level anymore. I've elevated, and not everyone is supposed to take that next step with you. Like we think is keeping it real, and I fell victim to this. Like, oh, I gotta keep it real. I gotta give this to this. I gave away cars and money, like, and guess what? If I can't really build myself up, then I can't give to you. Jamal Bryant said something in the sermon some odd years ago, and I'll never forget it. He said, my cup is supposed to be full. Like we look at half full and half empty. Like my cup is supposed to be full. The overflow is for you. The overflow is for your family. The overflow is for your friends. We look and we're like, oh, everybody's taking. Well, takers have to learn that, okay, until I'm full, I can't keep giving. And in artistry, R&B, hip hop, music, just period, like we have to understand, we have to get our foot in the door, and not just get our foot in the door, but we got to kick it in and make sure we're in, sitting in the office, and start bringing our people in. Because if we don't, then we won't be mainstays in the industry. We'll come and we'll go and we'll be fly by night. Leave Baltimore, yeah, but come back, give back, tied into your neighborhood, build up the recreational centers, put some money into the schools, build up the Boys and Girls Club, help the nonprofits that are really giving back to the inner city kids that are so intelligent, that become doctors and nurses and lawyers and judges and athletes and artists to come. Like, I think when we talk about leaving Baltimore, people forget that you have to come back and do something, or we'll just be null and void.
Yeah, you know that's yeah. So I didn't get a chance to say that because I agree with you 100% that though we leave, it is our responsibility to come back. I grew up in a culture that we were taught to go to school, get an education, get a decent job, and move outside the beltway. Right? The measuring stick was if you lived outside the beltway, that was success, and so many people did that. So we had this migration of, in my era, of people that are now 45 and 50, 60 years old that moved out of the city and never came back. So the reason that I spend 12 hours a day in the work that I do is because if none of us come back, we leave a whole generation of people behind that don't have the blueprint, that don't have the roadmap to succeed and understand that it's our responsibility to give back to our community. Like if kids don't see us, like we are people that do what we see. And if Paula is in Atlanta and not coming back here and saying that I'm a singer, I did the work, I grinded, I hustled, I did what I needed to do to get to where I am, that little girl singing in the bathroom mirror will never know that it's possible for her. So if I get clean, I'm homeless and a drug addict at 26 years old. If I get clean and get my stuff together, go on to make a whole bunch of money driving a fancy car and don't come back, it's a whole bunch of people that think that they will never stop using drugs. Like it is our responsibility. Every trial, every tribulation, every challenge, every obstacle that we've gone through is a direct result of the stuff that we need to be able to triumph and come back and tell somebody, oh, man, you think that's something? I went through this and I've made it out. So we it's our responsibility to come back and let somebody else know how to get out of this muck too.
Paula, how do you write a song in 2022? And I only say that because I try to listen to what the young people are listening to. I try, I try, but I'm Earth, Wind, and Fire at the core. How do you write a song today?
I mean, music is ever evolving. I used to feel that way too, and I can listen to certain things. And if you want my honest opinion, I do think, especially like R&B, it becomes redundant. Like everyone has the same exact voice and the same exact melody and the same exact topic. Um, for me, I just stay true to self. I'm emotional. I'm a Cancer Leo cusper. So I feel everything deeply. or not at all. And it doesn't matter if it's my personal story. If I see something that just touches me that has nothing to do with me, then it'll just come to me. It's so many little notes in my voice recorder, because I'll wake up in the middle of the night like, oh, two of my friends, like 2 weeks ago, I woke up and James Murphy and Cherie, I'm like, oh my God. So I got this song, like I dreamed about this, and this came, and I put it in my voice recorder. Listen, what does this mean? And what does this mean? And this is what I'm writing. Do you love this melody? Do you love these words? Like, I'm just inspired by everything until I'm not. Like, we all go through writer's blocks and things like that. I'm inspired by everything until I'm not. And I think most writers, for the most part, whether you're writing music or you're writing a book or a movie or what have you, like, you're inspired until you're not.
We can't hear you, Doni. You're muted.
How do you motivate yourself when there's no motivation? There's a song out that says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. How do you do that?
It's funny.
I don't know.
On Thursday, for our Throwback Thursday, so I'm hosting this 28-day self-care challenge. And the people that are on this challenge with me are like believing that this is something that I created for them, and they're getting all of this out. But I created it for me, because I went into 2022 like everyone else. 2020 was horrible. 2021 was, and then we went into each year going, this is going to be the best year ever. And I was like, what am I going to do different in 2022 that I couldn't do in 2021, or that got stopped in 2020? And I didn't recognize how much the pandemic had impacted my life, my spirit, my energy. Like, after being in the house and minimal, like, in-face person-to-person contact, working from home, like doing this video virtual stuff all the time, like, we need human interaction, right? So on my Throwback Thursday, my challenge was for people to, because we can't go back to any space or place. That's gone. But what we can do is tap into the energy that was around us during those times, right? So to throw back, like, and how I motivate myself, like, what was happening in your life when you were feeling the most fulfilled, the most passionate, like full of your purpose? Where were you and what were you doing? And to tap into that. Right. So for me, like 2015 to 2018, I was kicking ass and taking numbers, because I was in the community. I was providing a safe place for these kids. I was fearless. I was standing up to politicians. I was getting policy written. I was doing things that were outside of myself to help other people. So to motivate myself, I know that I've always got to tap into the energy that I felt when I was at my best. So when I'm feeling like non-productive, I'm feeling complacent, I'm stuck in a place. Erica, what were you doing? What energy was around you when you were able to get up, when you were able to go to work every day, when you were able to help somebody else along the way? And that's how I motivate myself, just tapping into what I've had in the past.
That's good, Erica. And I'm going to start thinking about some of that stuff for me. Mm-hmm. I will say I'm one of those half full people, and I'm going to keep giving. So on the flip side of that, sometimes we need alone time. And a friend of mine, we were talking just a few days ago, Jamie, and we were talking about a podcast that she listened to, and the wife of the person on the podcast said, I realized that I didn't want to be alone. Like, even when I was alone, if I went walking or running, I had my music in, I had to do something. I did not want to be alone with my thoughts. And because I didn't want to be alone with yes, I could be alone, but it was always something. I need TV, I need the earpiece in, I need to be doing something for someone else. I'm never alone with myself, because I don't want to deal with the inner me, because often the enemy is the enemy, right?
Absolutely.
So what I realize is that dealing with myself first.
Did you just say the inner me is the enemy? Sometimes the inner me is the enemy.
Absolutely.
Ooh. You're so stupid.
He just banned Doni. But
for me, like having or taking time to deal with me, to deal with my thoughts, the thoughts that I don't want to think that keep coming up, because we all have them.
Absolutely.
Struggle that we don't know, the next person is going through, or that we don't know that they're going through. So when we are dealing with that, and then we realize like we have our own personal internal struggles, it is difficult to motivate yourself. And I'm just being honest for me. Like, and I'm emotional. Like I will look you dead in your face and tell you nothing's wrong and I'm not offended. And in my mind, I will be like, ma'am, you don't even know what you could be getting yourself into right now. So you lucky. But I'm like, oh, fine. But I gotta go home and I gotta deal with me, because I gotta figure out like how to shake that little hood Paula off sometimes. So, but dealing with that, dealing with your thoughts, and just allowing.
Hold up. Has ATL did you have to put it on them?
Have they met that Paula?
No, I ain't even on front. I still have the skinny, light-skinned girl complex. So you have to watch how you talk to me, because I'm gonna let you know that really I'm this big mama in here. So what we doing? We being respectful, or are we being disrespectful? I need to know who I need to bring. Okay.
And it's funny, like one of the things that we did on the challenge on Saturdays, to speak to what you just said, I call it Selfish Saturday, and we have to take a ride for at least 15 minutes with no music playing. Because what people also don't understand is those thoughts that are bouncing in your head are most time the answers that you need to the questions that you're. That's meditation. The answers that we get from meditation are those things popping around, but we need to be able to quiet out negative self-talk and be able to hear what we need to hear. So we take a ride for at least 15 minutes every Saturday with no destination. You just got to drive, but you can't have music on. Yeah.
That's good, Erica. That's really good. And the other things, like when you say dealing with those thoughts, what I wanted to get to is like when we pray, right?
Yes.
Not to be like all churchified, but when we pray outwardly. We pray to God in heaven, right? For Paula, for me, and I think a lot of other people, like we were created in his image and his likeness, whoever your God is, right? You were created in his image and his likeness, and God lives within us.
Yeah.
So when I pray, and I've committed to this for, I guess, maybe the past 4 years is something that I just kind of decided to do for myself, because I felt it there more in meditation. Like God is within me. So when I pray inwardly, because I need God, the God in me, to work through me so that I am a light and I am a vessel and I can exemplify his glory, his light out. But if he's not working in me, then how do I do that? So when I pray, oftentimes, like when I close my eyes, I try to like look within. It's very much like meditation, but I'll read my Bible and I'll go within, because I find that it's a lot easier to deal with me when I'm praying for the things that I need first inside, so that I'm planting the seeds inside of me. And then eventually, you're watering those seeds with a good word, good thoughts, with good meditation. And then that begins to extend and grow, and you blossom. And that's something that I truly, truly believe, because I will say, like, I'm a whole different person. Like, I'm such a different person, my mind, my spirit, since I've been able to understand, like, yes, God is omnipresent, but God is here. Like, God is here. And
So what does that sound like? I mean, I'm feeling you, because you're right. Often, oh great God of the universe, bless my house. But what does that don't laugh.
You know what? When you said that, Donnie, one of the things that I tell the young people is that you're made in God's likeness. So your prayer may sound like, "Yo, you still doing me like this?" Right? God is in here. He created me. I am in his likeness. This is how God rolled for me. So I can't be thou great thou. I gotta be like, yo, look, you told me to sit here and wait, and I've been waiting on you. I know you all that on time stuff. Like, that's how I talk to him.
I am not calling God yo. I called my daddy yo at 13, and he'd like to beat the blackness off of me. I am not calling
that's
God
you.
yo.
That is you, because our relationships with God are very personal and unique as well. I need to understand God for myself and my young people, because I can't throw the Bible at them. I can't, because that's not who I am. what I do let them know that you are not the highest being in your life, right? You are not the end all say all. Like somebody's been protecting you. Like all of these coincidences that you think, like who do you think spared you when those when the bullets were flying?
I had
Somebody
a
was
praying
there, and you need to
grandmother.
talk to that person the way that person will understand you.
Speaking of which, Paula, you're in the home of the civil rights movement. Have you been up in clearly? I mean, I guess you've been to Jamal's church, but like Ebenezer, have you been to one of those good old Southern? And every time I came to Georgia, I never did get one of them home cooked meals unless I went to a beautiful restaurant. But you missed
I just
it.
listen.
Look.
Yesterday he was in Atlanta and I got in his car. He had on the Steelers mask, so it was a no right there. I said, "Oh, you must not want to tip." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I know you ain't picking me up with no Steelers mask." But we started talking, and one thing, and I don't care to be an Atlantean, ain't no food like Northern food, like that Southern. But I think when they talk about South cooking, it's more like the Carolinas. Because if you go to the Carolinas, that food is amazing. South, North, all that is the bomb. But I think, I don't know, Atlanta, take me back to Baltimore.
I tell you what I do like. I like Sunday mornings in Atlanta because y'all got the Waffle House. Oh my God. And ain't no skinny people at the Waffle House. You got to be 225 just to go to the Waffle House.
See, you're wrong.
And that's the babies. That's the babies.
That's the babies.
That's the babies.
Yeah, but I have I went to a lot of different churches just checking it out. Jamal Bryant is the messenger for me. So that's my brother.
Stonecrest. Have you checked out the new Black Wall Street at Stonecrest?
I have not gone to Stonecrest since they redid it. Yeah, I have not gone.
I still love the fact that you've had a black mayor in Atlanta 40 plus years or so. You got Stacey Abrams. She's a national lady. If she is a hero.
Governor, I'm for Stacey. I'm on the team. Whatever they need me to do. And not because she's just a black woman, but she's a black woman who really cares about the community. And yes, she wants to help black people, but she also wants to help all people. She wants everybody to thrive. She's poured into communities. She's educated. She wants to educate. She wants to help us build generational wealth, help us understand certain things. She wants to make sure we have health care. She wants to make sure that we're being treated fairly. So I'm an advocate definitely for Stacey Abrams. I'm hoping that she gets in there.
She needs to have you do a commercial for her. Don't she know who you are?
No.
I'll tell her.
Tell her.
I will. I don't play with them. Paula, how can people support you, get in touch with you? We got to get out of here. Thank you for taking time out.
No problem at all. Well, I'm always on Instagram. Well, I'm not always, but I be on there. So if you want me to respond, Instagram is the place to go. It's just Paula Campbell. My Facebook that I'm on more often is I am Paula Campbell, but I also check my Paula Campbell. And I've been tweeting a lot often. That's Paula Campbell as well. So YouTube is Paula Campbell TV. My book is, if he wanted to be there, he would. 6 Steps to Push Past the Breakup. So you can order that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your literary work.
Let me get the name one more time.
If he wanted to be there, he would. Subtitle is 6 Steps to Push Past the Breakup. So, and it's not a male bashing book. I promise. My men love the book. Yeah, so just see me.
Erica, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Final thoughts. My podcast launches right here on this platform on March 1st. Our 28-day self-challenge has evolved to Climbing Out the Podcast, 30 minutes each week right here on this platform. I am on IG at Just Erica 2, and Erica is ERICKA. I am very, very engaging and responsive on Facebook, which is Erica Alston Buck, public page. And I'm really excited about moving forward with our podcast, Doni.
Baltimore, Atlanta. We've been joined by two queens, two serious women, and you've inspired me. You done taught me how to pray. I've been praying all wrong. Looking up there, and I should be looking in. Woosah. My name's Donnie Glover, and we'll be back at 10 o'clock with the Black USA Morning Show. Good morning, world. Thanks.